leftovers, or the DMV,
Number 97.
or house cleaning, or
Chumba Casino always brings the fun. Play over 100 different games online for free from anywhere. You could redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. Live the Chumba life. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details. Leftovers, or the DMV,
Number 97.
or house cleaning, or Chumba Casino always brings the fun. Play over 100 different games online for free from anywhere. You could redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. Live the Chumba life. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
So which one is it?
You see where it says new threads? That's our new jerseys.
I don't think that looks
All red, all white, all black.
too much. So it's like Color Bomb or
They're all color rush, but it's
Color Rush.
so
yeah.
no, go away, Dougie. I know, I love you too, but
That's almost a throwback, and I don't know how I feel about it.
so I looked at the throwbacks that I thought they were doing that for. It's really not. It's a false sense of security about it. So
What the fuck does that mean?
because you're trying to find a reason why you like it, and there's not a reason.
Go.
Like, so Santana said he likes the red ones, and Dustin said, well, they're cleaner, and I'm like, they're more minimalistic.
The red one is what they used to be back in the 90s. That's
So
very similar.
I'm really hoping that they like switch up the pants. So like they'll have like the red shirt with the black pants on and the black helmet or some shit like that. And I think that would be cool. But it's such a lukewarm thing.
This white one actually is very, very much like it was in the 90s.
That's the thing I've noticed.
I
is
do like the helmets. They're using different colors. For the listeners that are walking into the middle of this conversation, we're talking about the Cardinals and their new jerseys.
we only have half a team right now.
They decided, hey, we're going to give the top 5 shittiest teams in the NFL new jerseys. Maybe that'll help. Boom, Cardinals new jerseys.
The thing for me is the fact that they're so fucking boring.
They're pretty boring.
There's nothing going on with it.
Yeah. I know the little vent thing's kind of cool right there.
That's really cool. Am I going to see that on the field?
Bird Gang. It says Bird Gang on the inside of the collar.
It'd be cool if it said on the outside of the collar.
It'd be awesome if you could read it
Yeah.
while they're wearing it.
Do you know how bad that's going to fuck up someone's neck?
Rashes for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, the black one I think is supposed to be the big debut here, and I do like it.
That's the alternate, and I like it the most, but it doesn't mean I like it. Like, it's...
Hey, get out of my fucking ice. God, podcast puppy's just raising havoc in here.
It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't... I want to like it more than I do.
Jason's just watching it go down, laughing. Fucking psychopath.
Like, okay.
That's kind of cool.
Okay, here's the thing for me. All these details, all these little details, like the red flakes on the black helmet, the silver flakes on the white helmet.
I saw that.
That's so fucking cool. You know what? You want to know why I don't give a shit? I'm not going to see it when I'm watching.
You're definitely not. This is all a flex.
So you can have all these minor little details, but when I'm watching you at the bar or at my home, all I'm going to see is a black jersey with red lettering on it.
Yeah.
And that's all I see.
Yeah. Get the fuck away from my ice. Fuck off. Well, anyway, we're back, and we have a kind of a special situation. That's not really special. I just crammed in as many podcasts as I could do in a weekend, which isn't even. I'm not even full up. Devlyn's back, and we have
Hola.
my other nephew today for his first episode, Jace. It's not gonna matter because you're not gonna hear these on the same day. So
Yeah, it's not like special guest appearance or something like that.
no, it's not. I'm just gonna record one after the other. We'll hear his story, and you're gonna enjoy his. I sure will. Look at now, the pressure's on you.
You have to be interesting now.
Now the pressure's on you. No, it's all right.
You know what the best part is? If you drop him before me, and then you give this intro to him after, and then you play me after him.
I could do that.
That'd be hilarious.
It'd be kind of funny.
It'd be terrible for everybody else, but I would think it'd be a funny inside joke.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it now because now the whole thing is laid out.
It's funny. It's not funny now because we fucking talked about it. How's your week?
It's been good.
Work shit and shit?
So, I might be getting promoted again.
Oh, sweet.
And that's pretty cool because, but I'm getting a lot of negative feedback from my.
Hey, pull your mic back just a hair. There you go.
Am I good now?
Yeah, it should be.
All right. Was I going a little too voluptuous with my volume?
Sheldon is trying to teach me how to prevent clipping, and I'm doing my fucking absolute damnedest.
Oh, it's clipping when it's like outside of the frame of the.
When it's like just a little too loud and it causes a little distortion.
Like a little.
Sure.
Okay.
We'll go with that. I like that.
But
So,
yeah. Okay.
Why are you getting negative feedback over promotion?
So they're trying to find like someone to be like a backup lead, and my name has been dropped by everyone that works with me, and a lot of the higher ups don't. I don't know what the higher ups are not noticing or something, but they don't want me to be in that position for some reason. So it's like a lot of the people on the floor convincing people higher up that like, no, this guy is the guy that's gonna benefit the most. Because he's friends with everybody and he gets his job done.
That's what I was going to ask. So it sounds like somebody in direct contact with you is saying, hey, this is what I want to happen, but I have to convince such and such.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
Okay.
So my name
sucks. I hate that apprehensive feeling.
It's also a corporation, so it's going to take a long time for it to get done.
Fuck them kids.
But yeah, it's also because they keep trying to have like the older guys do that stuff because of the perception of like knowledge.
Yeah, I guess. But
And I get it. Like the guy that they wanted it to be, he's got a lot of wisdom, but he came up to me. He's like, "Yeah, you have a better future here than I do, and you're better at building than I am." And I'm like, "That's really nice of you to say that."
if that's not saying I don't fucking like this job that much, and I'm not going to be here much longer,
That's
I don't know
exactly what it is. Well, he loves the job. It's just the fact that he's been there for like 27 years, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm 60 years old. I'm about to leave."
Yeah, he's like, you're starting your career. I'm fucking off.
Like, yeah, you can figure this out and be good for like 20 years here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already on the back end of my career.
That's pretty funny. I'm not going to lie.
It was weird. It was a nice compliment, but I also know exactly where he's going at with it.
Right.
Do normal people that sit here have an easier time sitting than I do, or am I just that fucking short?
I got to be honest with you. This is the first time it's been brought to my attention. It looks funny. Are you comfortable?
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
As long as you're comfortable.
I feel like a toddler sitting on Santa's lap right now.
Just shirt cocking it.
I would love to shirt cock it. Can I shirt cock it?
Yeah, if you wear a long shirt.
No, with this shirt.
Sure.
Where it like folds just around my scrotum and everything.
Yeah, I mean, go for it.
This is a very aggressive episode already.
If you want to be comfortable, then it's kind of funny because I can still tie that into everything else I want to talk to you about.
That's fantastic. Just so everybody knows, it's like noon right now. So I'm like,
Yeah, so there's noon on a Saturday.
I've had a good night's sleep.
It's gonna be a good day. Yeah, I got some rest. I got some much needed rest after a weird week, and
I'm doing great.
it's gonna be a good Saturday. I'm excited. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you specifically about was I don't know what word to use, whether it's like desire or want or need, but ones want to be their true self all the time. And I say that for you. No, I say that because of how complicated that can really be.
So,
What's the first thought that comes to your head when I ask you something like that?
overthinking. So, okay, so
Fair.
I overthink a lot about like what people are thinking of me because of the fact that I don't have the capability. Like, so whenever I was writing poetry, I can never write it the same way everybody else writes it.
You write poetry? I think we had this talk.
Yeah, I'm trying to have a book come out in like the next 3 years.
Are you?
I'm trying.
Oh, sweet.
It's so hard to find the motivation to get
There's
it
that
done.
clipping I was talking about. That's what I get for yelling. That's fucking cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's taken a while to do, but I'm trying to get it done. And then I feel like my voice carries too much. And then And like when I try to like write music, I can never like make it sound like somebody else. Like, you know, a lot of people like go on these like waves of like everyone does like that three fist thing, like how that was in music for like 6 years, and then like
Yeah.
So I don't have the ability to do that. I realize that when I write stuff, I can only write it to the way that it sounds in my head, and I can't mimic anything. And I realize I'm not a chameleon at all. Like, there's no... I can't do it.
That seems like a fucking cool problem to have, though. Because...
Yes and no.
Well, I'm the opposite. When I'm writing... I've got a bunch of songs written out that I haven't been able to put a dynamic to or a sound to.
Yeah.
So I'm the... Because I want... In my head, I mold to shit that I know.
Yeah.
Bad thing to do.
Yeah, because that's not the way you're actually supposed... That's not the way you're thinking.
That's not my sound.
Yeah, you're trying to replicate, and
yes.
that makes it more difficult.
It does. I don't have the resources. That's why I need another body in here.
Yeah.
That has ability to play other shit, so I can put two heads together to help me create.
So you're trying to put the band back together.
Essentially, I guess.
Have you ever seen The Country Bears?
No.
You should watch The Country Bears.
Okay.
Get drunk and watch The Country Bears. It's a Disney movie, but it's a live-action thing with, like, bear animatronics.
Okay.
It's so fucking hilarious.
Okay. But I would be interested to merge those two, so maybe at some point in time we can fuck around.
I would have to, yeah. I'd probably try to bring my trumpet over here and, like, run some scales for, like, 10 minutes until I get bored.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, when you have lyrics and you can make a sound, you can kind of mold from there. I have lyrics, and I have no sound.
My brain just immediately went to, like, bippity boppy sloppy toppy off the dome. Let's go bite the chrome on the wheel. Like,
It sounds a whole lot like something that would go through your head. Ugh.
bite the chrome on the wheel using gamer words in public.
Mm.
I still got that girl's pubic in my mouth.
You're done. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Shout out to the Smash.
It sounds like
High speed crashing, swerving, slurring swords. Don't know what time it is or what day. Hip hip hooray, let's get this shit today.
Okay.
Alright, I'm done.
Yeah,
that was trash.
That's the end of that. But I find it like that's interesting. That's the first thing that comes to your mind. Kind of faded into that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
No, it's okay. I mean, that was an interesting connection. I didn't know that was, for one, overthinking, and for two, I didn't realize that poetry and music were that front and center.
Well, yeah, I think I've said it like 2 or 3 times now, but that's definitely like the way my mind chooses to look at things is through like rhythm and through like almost like melodies, like going through everything in a melodic pace. So like I understand that like I need a certain amount of what is that called? Like schedule. Like I need that. But when everything is when the schedule's over with, then that's when I like get to have a lot of fun. So in other words, I do need to go to work at a certain time. I do need to get that stuff done. I do need to go shopping. I need to cook on this day and this day and this day. I need to like...
You're very routine driven.
I need to get that routine because that routine helps me be creative and helps me be as honest as I am with myself. Because part of the thing about being a human is to have that free time, but you need to create that free time. And so that schedule keeps me honest to that free time that I find.
Interesting. I think I'm on the opposite end of that, to be honest. I firmly believe that I thrive in chaos.
I do too, but I lose sight of like...
Which is, I think that's to be expected. You're definitely going to lose sight of what you're probably doing in the chaos. But somehow or another, I seem to make that work a little bit better.
That's fair. I can see how that works.
I'm glad somebody can, because I can't.
Maybe you should get a little more schedule.
No, I have enough. I have enough fucking schedule. I'm good.
But it's one of those things where like that schedule does... Because I don't like the schedule. Like, I don't like going to work. I don't like...
Okay, so you don't like it. It's just something you
I need
recognize
it.
that you need.
I need it.
I see.
Because if I don't, then I go off the fucking walls, and it's not good.
You know what I wonder about for me? Like, I've grown to understand that I am such a unique personality in some weird fucking ways.
You mean you're not an NPC?
No, I'm not. I'm Free Guy, for sure.
That's good. Don't be an NPC.
Fuck.
Have your own thoughts.
I don't have it in me to be an NPC. Period. Point blank. But I often find myself wondering how somebody just left the interaction that they just had with me. It's not even necessarily like a panic or a real concern. It's just I wonder.
So this isn't like towards you or anything, but you just remember
Leftovers. Or the DMV.
Number 97.
Or house cleaning. Or
Chumba Casino always brings the fun. Play over 100 different games online for free from anywhere. You could redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. Live the Chumba life. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
reminded me of this one guy I work with. I'm not gonna say his name or anything because it's a recognizable name. But he, I'll tell you his name after this, so that way you can understand why.
Okay.
But he, the first time I met this guy, these are the kind of people that I meet, by the way. Like, I don't meet normal people.
Mm-hmm.
This guy came up to me, and he goes, "Hey, man, how's it going? My name is so-and-so. I got diddled by my uncle when I was 5. And I thought it was a joke.
Mm-hmm. So you laughed.
No, because what kind of joke is that?
I can see the look on your face now. Just fucking like,
You know what he said? This wasn't a joke. I'm being honest. And then he spit on the ground and walked away. I'm at work. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I've gotten to know this guy more and more.
I'd probably go ask for personal time after that conversation.
So he...
I need to go home for the day.
He came up to me one night, because this was when I was on night shift, and he told me like 7 different stories over the course of 4 minutes, but none of the stories had an ending to them. It was like starting to watch Everybody Hates Chris and then switch into Breaking Bad and then switch into I Love Lucy and then switch into Dexter, and then he walked away and I never got any closure on any of the stories. And someone that was around me I looked at him and was like, what the fuck?
What just happened?
And then he spits on the ground and walks away. This guy's a doctor's now, so he's allowed to kind of like be a psycho.
I want one. A doctor's note, not a psycho. Just so we're clear.
Like he was fucking wild. Like it was a point because like when I was working at Honeywell, there was a long period of time where I was single, and I didn't.
You still work there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was starting to work there.
Okay, I got you.
There's a long time in which I was single. And I was single because I was like, I gotta figure my fucking self out, and I gotta get my life a little on track before I start doing shit. And this motherfucker would have a new girl like every 2 weeks, and it's the same roller coaster every time, where it's like, I love her, she's the best fucking person ever, sending letters and everything, calling out of work so that way you can like see her, and then like having her meet his dog, she moves in. And then they get into an argument, she moves out, she calls him a psycho, and then he, like, has a fucking breakdown and shit. And, like, he would just do this consistent every 2... I'm like...
Just a revolving door?
I was like, hey, stop. Like, I'm tired for you.
I cannot keep up any longer.
This guy was 37. He's 10 years older than me.
And he's still in that shit.
He's still on like 17.
I guess I really can't say a whole lot at this point, so I'm going to keep the rest of my shit to myself. At least I recognize that there's a problem.
Maybe I feel like... Because I feel like I don't have my life together, but I guess I do compare it to like a lot of other people that I know and see around me.
Yeah.
But even then, there's like other people that are wild that...
I'm not even so sure that's a part of my life I need to be together. I'm okay without it for a while.
It's kind of nice to like figure yourself out.
It's kind of nice to just like have an empty living room. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
What I mean is like when you because it's kind of like when someone dies and you go through like the 5 phases of of like
The grief.
of grief, you kind of go through like an alternate version of the same thing when you like stay alone for a little bit. Like you can like you gotta figure out that schedule. You start getting your like shit all right, and then when you're like when you're getting there, you can then it's like good to like meet someone and then stick to what you're doing already, and especially if they have their own shit.
Yeah. I'm beginning to understand when you're trying to get your life together how important connections with people are.
Yeah.
These are some things, if you're going to coincide with people in life, regardless of your relationship status, are important.
It's definitely quantity over quality. Or quality over quantity.
I was like, no.
I had the wrong... My bad.
I don't want a bunch of fucking retards I don't like. I just got rid of that. But no, it is definitely... You have to be in the correct mindset to take care of yourself in that regard.
Yeah.
And the fun part is if everybody does that correctly, then you can coincide with a bunch of people.
So I've learned that I prefer coexistence over codependent.
Yeah.
Because coexistence is like, oh, you got to go do something. Like, for instance, right now, my girl's not here because she is going to do laundry and shopping and get her shit done while I'm doing this.
Whereas if it was codependency,
then she would be here, and then we'd go shopping afterwards.
You'd be glued.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I've kind of made it, to put myself out there, I've kind of made a transition out of that. And I'm not sure where that chapter was, but I used to be very like that. I mean, and it's not a bad thing. I loved having my partner around.
Yeah.
I do, and I still do, but maybe at some point somebody along the line spoiled that for me and made it too overbearing.
I think that it's more of a juvenile thing versus an adult thing, because you understand that you have to get shit done, and they don't need to be there for everything.
Yeah, I think for that, I'm not going to agree completely on the juvenile aspect. I will agree somewhat, but I think that
I just don't know a better term for that.
No,
a better way of looking.
No,
at
you're
it.
not. You're not far from what you're shooting for, and I agree with you. I just wish it's like having your cake and eating it too, man.
Yeah.
That's how my brain works, and I recognize that.
Well, sometimes you got to put the cake away in the fridge, and
because I recognize that I would like to have my partner with me most of the time.
Yeah.
But I also recognize that there are moments where that just can't be a thing.
Yeah.
And when that person doesn't understand that is when I get upset. Because I'm like, okay, now you have to be a fucking human and we just have to accept this, so let's get it done. and when they get upset and they can't manage that, then I'm like, now I'm babysitting. This is great. Now I don't want to do this anymore.
Does it happen the other way too?
No.
No?
No.
Is it just because you're more like... So, like, I definitely do more stuff on a day-to-day basis than my girl. Like, I gotta get my hair cut tomorrow. I did this today. We go see my family on certain days. And, like, I have more stuff all the time. And so she's around me with all that stuff. But sometimes she does just stick back and do what she needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she just started playing softball.
Well, that's fucking cool.
So on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday, they play early enough to where I can see her play.
Mm-hmm.
But on other days, it's too late, so I just don't see her that day. And that's fine, because she's doing something she enjoys. She's being a human out there. And, you know, I gotta wake up at 4 in the morning. I can't be out till 11 o'clock.
Yeah. And that was... I've also learned a little bit about how... I can say our schedule, because yours is just as extreme as mine. It takes a particular state of... Nope. Let's start that over. It takes a particular person to be able to deal with a schedule like that.
Yeah.
Not everybody as a partner can handle that.
Waking up at 4 in the morning to go to work is a struggle for a lot of people.
And then,
being on the second-hand portion of that, like...
Yeah, no, I totally... I feel bad about it. I do.
Well, it's like, that's why I switched from a swing shift to day shift schedule, because swing shift was even harder.
Yeah.
When I was going in at noon and I was leaving at midnight, that wasn't... It's not culpable for the beginning of a relationship.
No, it's not, and I'm learning that. Finally. But it is what it is. What do you still work 12 hours, 10 hours?
No, I've only been working like 9 hours lately. I don't. Okay, I know I'm young, but I'm fucking tired. I can't.
Oh, fuck the age part of that,
I
dude.
can't work
Yeah.
like that again. We've talked about my work schedule. I can't.
It's not easy to do, man.
I've been doing that since I was in like middle school. I can't keep doing that.
And on top, you have to recognize that on top of just your fucked up work schedule, for one, there's also drive time, because do you still work in Tempe?
Yeah, it's still a 30-minute drive to
So,
work and a 40-minute drive home.
I have the same thing, you know?
Yeah,
And that drive time fucking counts.
it does. So I realized when I was working 12 hours, I was only getting 6 hours of sleep because I only had 2 hours of actual. So when I was working those 12 hours, I realized that it would take me 30 minutes to get to work, and it would take me, because of the time I left, from like 4 to 4:30, I was right in the middle of 4:30 traffic, which is the worst. So it would take me until like 5:30, 6 o'clock to get home because there's always an accident. There's always a complication. Along with everybody being on the road and everybody merging on the freeways, I had to take 2 different freeways to get everywhere. And that would be an hour and a half. So now I'm out of a 12-hour day, I'm already out 13 hours.
13, 14 hours, yeah.
And that means I would have enough time to eat. I would eat for like 30 minutes overall, including like cook time and like consumption. And now I have an hour and a half to do everything. But that doesn't count for the 30 minutes it takes me to get up and get ready in the morning, and the 30 minutes it takes me to lay down. So now I turn into this cycle of like I actually do just work and go to bed.
I over the last year, I mean really over the last 2 or 3 years, because I've been doing these 2 different companies, have kind of in the beginning, since I've been on and off the schedule most of my life, I've tried to stay away from it, and it's obviously not fucking working. I realized very early on how painful it was when you wanted to still do what you wanted to do.
And then you try to make it work, and then you end up more tired, and it makes it harder.
Which explains why I look the way I look now. I look like I'm 45. I'm only 35. No, I'm kidding.
I'm not gonna bullshit. Between the ages of 25, between the ages of 20 and 50, it's really hard to gauge someone's age.
Yeah, it is.
Because there's people. I work with 22-year-olds that look like they're 37. I work with 25-year-olds that have no hair anymore.
Yeah, that's stress.
And then there's
For
also
sure.
like 60-year-olds that have a full head of hair, and they have a couple of like blonde hairs in there, or like gray hairs, and like I'm like, that's natural hair.
But one of the things that I feel like it's important to recognize, and I don't know from what degree these people have been speaking from. I don't know what goes on exactly in everybody's mind, but just like you know, I'd have 3 hours to myself a night.
Yeah.
3 hours of actual activity, and that would still only leave me with 6 or 7 hours to get to sleep, which I don't have to tell you is not enough.
It's not enough. And then doing that over a prolonged period of time, you start feeling it. There was a point in time where I was still trying to be like energetic and everything, and I would only get like 4 hours of sleep a night. And I thought I was seeing ghosties. I thought it turns
That
out
shit breaks you down over time.
yeah, like I actually thought I was schizophrenic, and it turns out I'm not schizophrenic. I just have 4 hours of sleep a night every night.
And that's not good. But it got to a point, even in some of my relationships, where they'd be like, can you, the question would always be there, can you stay up a little bit longer and spend some time with me?
Yeah.
I'm like, do you understand that 10 o'clock means I get 6 hours tonight?
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
and I, for years, I was made to be the bad guy because of this. For years, man. It's
Oh, no.
like living in gaslights for years.
If I got to go to sleep at 8 p.m. every night, I'd be so much more energetic as a person.
Right, and aside from the fact, just so we're clear, I don't want to go to bed.
Yeah, I don't want to go to bed either.
This is pure obligation.
I'm a night owl.
Dude.
Like it's
Yeah, I don't want to go to bed. I do want to stay up, and I want to do my shit and spend time with you. That is not a question. I fucking have to, because my job depends on me being awake.
yeah.
Literally. And yours probably does the same as well.
My job is so confusingly. It's my job is a paradox. Well, it's a blue-collar job inside of a warehouse that they keep cold for integrity purposes.
You're being conditioned.
And it's like, well, it's just so that way that like my job is kept at 68 degrees inside the warehouse, and it has a constant amount of humidity inside of it, like 70% humidity.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, it's to keep everything optimal. So like all of our machines, all of our testing equipment, all of our parts, they all have to stay at a specific amount to like preserve the parts as long as possible until we build it and send it out into the field.
But the humidity, that's good for everything?
It keeps packings not being crusty.
Huh.
And it keeps and the packings that need to be dry, they just put like a tiny little film over it, and I think it gives you cancer, and I don't put on gloves. So there's that.
Sweet.
I have cancer insurance, so we're good there.
That's exciting.
There's a picture somewhere on my phone that shows like it's like according to the state of California and the United States government, there's a substance on this
Leftovers. Or the DMV.
Number 97.
Or house cleaning. Or
Chumba Casino always brings the fun. Play over 100 different games online for free from anywhere. You could redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. Live the Chumba life. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
on this parts piece that contains known chemicals to cause cancer, and it has like a skull and crossbones on it. And
So, like, don't touch it?
yeah, we touch it.
And we touch it.
They're just a bunch of crush seals and shit. Like we don't think about it, but it probably has like for instance, our lock wire is coated with zinc chromate.
Yeah, I know that's bad.
And that's not good for you. When you're using lock wire, you get cut up the whole fucking. I have perma scars, and like I've had 32,000 lock wire go straight into my pinky finger before, like
Ow.
in between the fingernail, and I was like, "Ow! How does that even fucking happen?"
Yeah, that sucks.
I have bled so much from lock wire, and I'm sure there's a reason why I pay for cancer insurance.
It's fucking red outlined words on your fucking pamphlet. Cancer insurance.
Yeah. $5 a month for cancer insurance.
Oh, I'd fucking pay for that.
Yeah.
If it was a concern, I'd pay for that. But that's fucking crazy, man. And that's a whole nother fucking thing. Is
It's also a lot of paperwork because of the fact that like they want to know everything that's going. Like every part that gets ordered onto into each unit that I build. So there's two steps to it. One of them is that it gets ordered and that part is being linked to the the batch that part came from, and the facility that it came from originally and how it was stored is loaded into the system. And then when I get the unit and I've built a unit all the way, I then have to confirm that every part that I received is now on that unit, and every one of those parts are now tracked as well.
I hate that there's such confidentiality in your job because I want so many fucking pictures. It pisses me off, and it has since day one. It probably makes it worse because you're telling me I can't. I'm willing to take this. I'm willing to take this risk. Okay.
It's so hard to explain the job. Like that's the thing about it.
I know it's like locomotives. You know when you're dealing with the engines and that shit.
Yeah.
You don't get pictures. I'm like, God damn it. Uh-oh.
That's an example of like a small space that I work in. On top of a unit. So this...
You cheating son of a bitch. It's a very... On what scale is that? Oh my God.
Or like that big.
Jesus Christ.
And then... This looks like it came... That's a more broad version of it. And then that's...
Oh, look what you did.
Yeah, I got tired of trying to fucking explain it. So I took a couple of like...
Oh, so I'm not alone is what you're saying.
I just show it to like... I've shown it to my family and... Well, I showed it to my mom and dad. Because they... Sometimes I don't think that people believe me.
I didn't. I definitely didn't.
Oh, you know what I can do too?
Oh.
This is probably not good.
Hey, if you're gonna get in trouble for this, then
I'm not gonna get in trouble for
I
this.
didn't see anything. I don't know shit about fuck.
I'm not worried about that.
Oh, okay.
I doubt that that's gonna be a fucking. Well, if this became a court case, that would be so fucking wild.
It wouldn't surprise me, dude. It really wouldn't surprise me.
Well, fortunately, I'm not showing anything that's bad.
Okay. Hey, Jace, you want a drink?
Mm.
Sorry, that was a fucking dickhead statement.
Do you want to see?
She's looking at me like, "Fuck you, man." First of all,
Do you want to see how fucked up this screw is? This is what I deal with on a constant.
how's it fucked? Why is it fucked up? Not how's it fucked up. I see why it's fucked up, but like,
Because it goes through extreme heat and extreme cold at the same time.
oh, so it's melted.
No, that's the threads stuck to the metal on the inside, and then I had to break. And then when I was putting it in,
you pulled threads out of the aluminum.
yeah, so it's steel threads out of aluminum, combined with. It's such a weird like.
That's not abnormal. I've seen that a million times.
This is an example of like some other stuff I do on.
There's that safety wire.
Yeah, there's some stuff that doesn't need safety wire, and there's other stuff. So here's an example of like some of the wiring I do.
That's pretty cool.
Splicing
the,
and
the heat shrinking and all that.
yeah, complete with my fucked up thumb because I got stabbed.
Thank you, Mr. Jack Daniels, for the drink. I'm gonna mention your fucking name in Lynchburg, Tennessee, until I get a goddamn contact number. That's what I'm gonna do.
So what's funny is like I take a lot of pictures of yeah, like this is all the stuff that like someone didn't clean the threads properly.
So you're doing like quality control at this point? Was that a?
That's a tap.
I was gonna say that's not a bolt.
That's a tap, and this is all the grime that was inside of it.
Yeah, that can cause catastrophic failure and
Yeah.
potential loss of life in your industry.
Yeah, it's fucking. Oh, here's an example of what I was talking about.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, toxic.
There's that little fucker.
Yeah.
It is red.
Yeah, it is extremely terrifying.
So it's I just want to relate for just a second, kind of to what degree of quality you're referring to. I thought this was super interesting when it got broken down to me. I used to work on a lot of race trucks and a lot of off-road vehicles, shit like that, you know.
It's the same level of quality.
Yeah.
Like you track batch numbers for parts.
They explained to me, because when you do a race prep on a truck, it could potentially cost upwards of $30,000. It looks so sterile in there.
That's all the components for this one.
But somebody explained it to me this way because I was upset. I was pissed off, and it's meticulous, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing is fucking easy on those trucks.
No. Because everything has a specific amount of clearance that they're accounting for. The math is done.
Oh my god, 110%.
Like,
and I was like, why the fuck do we have to replace all these goddamn bolts? Why do we do all the hardware every fucking race prep?
because they're bad.
Somebody explained to me, like, I'm gonna use the word ball joint. It's not the correct term, but that's what everybody knows. So the ball joints on those are special. Obviously, they're a different style.
Yeah.
And those get replaced, or they get rebuilt or replaced, one of the two. They explained to me this way. Just because everything looks perfect, you can't see one sliver of a metal fiber that could be inside that ball joint.
Yep.
And that one sliver is going to cause wear. It's going to cause space. That essentially will lead up to that wheel breaking off.
That's why when professionals do time attack races, they treat those engines as if they're actual power plant engines.
Yep. And those things have to be
They are power plants.
spot on, and that level of quality is absolutely. I mean, for an airplane, you're talking about 3,000 miles consistently.
It's not miles. It's the same thing with. So like you know how like motorcycles will do hours.
Yeah.
So planes, performance vehicles, boats, bikes, they all run off a certain amount of hours, not.
Yeah, you're right.
So-
even the big boys, the race trucks and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's all endurance based.
I think that's the same thing with semi trucks. I could be dead wrong on that one.
No. My tow truck has
Yeah, like hours since overhaul,
an
hours since new,
hours gauge. It
hours
does
since service.
It's run time though.
Yeah.
Because that longevity of run time is more important.
Well, it's like-
more importanter.
The way that we care, the reason why we care about miles on cars, like on cars that we use, is because of the fact that they drive for 30 minutes at a time, and that's really hard to like time it out. But like, if you look on a ship, especially like a freight train or a freight ship, a freighter, they run for 3 weeks straight. That engine just goes for 3 weeks straight.
Right.
So they're more worried about 10,000 hours than they are about 10,000 miles.
And that's what I was gonna say with but I think it's notably more important
Yeah.
to say that in an airplane, it's a little bit more important that thing stays together.
Yeah, because you can't pull over on the side.
Yeah.
When it breaks down, you can't just float.
There's no saying, hey, we need to stop and do an oil change. If you get to that point, it's gonna be a little late.
So so let's say like you decide to buy a plane, and in
I
buying,
would love to buy a plane, by the way.
that's only $10,000 for an experimental. I could build it.
That's actually fucking not bad.
Yeah,
I got to deliver a.
you can buy a reverse wing experimental. It's fucking dope.
I towed some tugs for like Scottsdale and Goodyear private airports, and I got to go into the hangars and shit. And just being up close to a private jet, which is a terrible first start for me, because that thing was. I was like, oh.
Isn't it crazy how fucking massive a jet is?
They fucking really are. They're not small.
They seat 6 people.
Wow. Well, I'm upset. I want one.
So here's why.
Could you be a pilot? Sorry, I've interrupted.
Yeah, I could do that.
I've interrupted you like 17 times.
I could do
now.
that. That's really not absurd. I think it's 100 out. I think it's 20 hours to be a pilot of a crop duster. It is 65 hours to have someone with you, and it is like 100 or 200 hours to actually fly like a private aviation.
Do you know how fucking dope it would be if I called you on a Friday after work and
So-
said, "Hey, pack your shit. We're going to Vegas."
Here's why it's shit. Because
Uh-oh.
planes cost a lot of upkeep because you can't just do that. You can't bring your beater to Vegas.
No crop dusters are making
And-
that 45-minute trip.
So, on a plane, so for instance, like let's say you bought a plane and we assembled it in your backyard. We can do that. But
The visual you just gave me was
we-
absurd.
Here's why it's shitty. You have to hire a certificated mechanic. I learned the difference between certified and certificated.
Oh, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
A certificated mechanic has to come over and inspect every piece of that plane to make sure it was all put together properly. And then once he signs off on it, we're good.
Does this certify like the fact that you get like the identification or the registration?
You need the identification and registration because apparently those are different.
Yes.
So-
I do know that, which is stupid.
Yeah, because so every plane has an N number. So if you take a pair of like a telescope and you look at a plane that's flying, like it'll be like N something.
The tail ID.
Yeah, the tail ID it's called the N number, and you have to contact the FCC or the FAA, and you have to tell them your flight plan, and they have to tell you where you're not allowed to fly that and how you have to go around everything.
Oh, really?
And you have to calculate your fuel to be exact because your takeoff weight has to be heavier than your landing weight, and that's why a lot of planes dump fuel. And you also have to account for the datum of an airplane, which means we have to tow it on 3 points every time, and we have to weigh. This is why when you fly commercially, they weigh your stuff, because you need to make sure that along that center point on the plane, which is normally like right behind the pilot, all the weight is perfectly level, so you don't go.
Wow. Well, this is why everybody hires people to do all this shit.
Yeah, and it costs so much money to get all of that done.
Yeah, I believe it.
Because you also need like a level surface to do all of that.
I don't even have one of those.
Yeah, so
Awesome. We're doing big things. Okay, well,
it's pretty dumb to buy a plane.
it might be dumb, but I'm gonna do it at some point.
Have fun. I'll be with you. I'll be your fucking.
You'll be with me. You're not gonna be part of that. You're gonna be with me.
Yeah, I don't want my name on any of that.
No, fuck no.
But I have a friend that is a certificated mechanic, and he'll do it.
What's he cost by the hour?
I don't know. It's probably somewhere around like $40 to $60 an hour.
It's a nice thing about money. When you get to that point, it's not my fucking problem. Hire the guy.
I know, right?
You know? So, eventually.
It is really cool, though. Like,
it's a cool dream.
It's not a bad one. It's just something to go back to the original statement that we were talking about, to being ourselves. So, I don't have any, like, want for that stuff. Like, for right now, I live in a townhouse, and I have everything that I need, and I'm having fun, and that's all I care about. I don't care about money. I don't care about... I care about quality of life. And I feel like that's something that I learned was important. Because if I'm good at my job, eventually I'll get more money, and that's fine. But that just means my quality of life will get a little better. I don't look at, like, if I had $1 million, what would I do? Like, I don't
fantasize like that anymore. I have desire for comfort and to do things that I want to do.
Well, it's okay. So,
having a plane at least once or twice would be cool. But anyway,
I don't fantasize about like being the a leader or anything like that. Or I don't fantasize about being like the big boss or anything like that. I fantasize about like for instance, like my social life, my family life, it's weird to me that people fantasize about having the biggest house on the tallest hill.
Yeah, when you're competing against your neighbors like that, so to speak.
Yeah.
I don't really get that. That doesn't get me hard. I'm not.
You know what
into
gets
it.
me hard? Someone that gives a fuck about me.
That's much more difficult to find.
And I found it.
You did?
I think I did.
You're talking about your partner.
Yeah.
I was like, who? I want one.
She touches me tenderly but firmly. It's nice.
It's affirmative. I like that. She lets you know when she wants things.
But you know what? That's what I care about, though. I care about my friends, my family. I care about my partner. I don't care about having the best status. I don't care about having anything like that.
No, yeah.
I realize that, like, none of that really matters in the end. And your legacy isn't what people remember you by. It's what your friends and family talk about you.
Right. Yeah,
so,
you don't want to die just because you had money. You don't want to die and be that fucking old asshole.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we can use Winston Churchill because he was iconic for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what his family was like? He was a piece of shit and he was never around. And you know what came out? Now when we think of Winston Churchill, we're like, yeah, he was he got everybody out of what they needed. He was also a fucking raging psychopath and a tyrant and he was never around his family.
I fuck with that. I'm kidding.
And but it's like you don't know what people are going to talk about you. So you might as well just enjoy yourself and build the memories that you have.
Yeah.
With the people that you care about.
Yeah. I find myself while you're explaining this, I find myself
I sound like a fucking church right now.
I did a somewhat of a hard reset last week.
That's always fun.
I just had a couple of different things happened over the last couple of weeks, and it's been not necessarily bad. It's just been weird. I find the absence of actual communication and conversation. I find the absence of that disturbing.
Is that why this podcast became a thing?
Well, this idea formulated a long time ago. No, the original plant wasn't because of that.
Yeah.
But just recently, I have found the inability of people to have a regular communication is disturbing. It's like hugely disturbing. Without using conflict or intimidation or judgment, you know?
Yeah. So, okay, what do you mean by regular
Let me give you an example. One of the things that happened was I was burning shit in my fire pit the other day. Just like old wood that I had, and there was probably some shit in there that shouldn't have been in there. Whatever. I don't really give a fuck. Doesn't matter.
You know it's Earth Day, right?
Plastic. What, today?
Yeah.
Oh, this was last week.
Oh, okay. That makes it good.
Um,
Sorry, don't.
Nobody has ever. I've been in this house for a little over 3 years now, and nobody's complained to me about anything.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to, then that's fine. Then let me
Yeah.
know that you don't like something, and I guess what? Probably won't do it again.
Yeah.
So simple conversation, right? It's pretty fucking simple. This guy, I don't even know how long he's lived there. Caddy corner to my house, behind me. I was sitting in here, and he started yelling at my friend, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to come say something?" I was like, What are we talking about? And I get up, and this dude is standing on a ladder on the fence, like, ready to fight. Like, ready to fucking go rounds. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, dude, I'm done. This is the last fire of the season. I'm done for the season."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, you gonna fucking quit burning this and that and that and this? We don't fucking appreciate smelling it." And I was like, Did you fucking just hear me?
Look, we're done. I'm sorry.
I just fucking said I'm done.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, if you keep fucking doing it, dude, we're gonna have a fucking problem."
I already said I was done.
Literally, that's like I said it like 3 times, and I'm
Okay,
finally.
I see what you mean. Like,
And finally, I was like, "Dude, if you have a problem, just fucking call the cops next time. I don't want to talk to you."
well, that's like the thing with road rage. Like, I don't understand road rage.
That happened too.
Like,
It's like, this is pointless.
yeah, it's just like. Listen, it's easier to think of someone as having a bad day than to, like, make your day worse.
Right. And the whole time both of those things happen, I'm like, I feel fucking crazy right now because this could have been so easily avoided. All of
Yeah.
it. And this is are we really gonna, do you want to go fight? Is that going to make you feel better?
That's okay. So this kind of shows my age. So there's been YouTube drama because, like, one of the guys I watched, and this one guy that's like, he took the red. He's a red pill guy, like
He's a red pill guy.
you know, Andrew Tate clone, like one of those guys.
Okay.
He was talking shit to this one guy, and so the guy that I follow, he talked shit back. He fucking destroyed him, like 100%. Like, told him to shut the fuck up and stay in his lane.
Right.
And that was it. Like 6 months later, he's like, he's like, it's like some dude from California and some dude from Florida talking shit. And the dude from Florida is the guy I follow. And he's kind of goofy, whatever. Like, he plays like World of Warcraft every now and then. I don't watch those things, but he's kind of wild. And this guy was like making fun of him again to the point where he like on Twitter's like, keep my fucking, like, shut the fuck up about me. Like,
right.
none of this matters. Like, whatever. And then the guy was like, oh, he was like, I can't watch your stuff, so how about you just watch the clips that I have where I'm talking about it so you can understand where I'm coming at it. So the guy was like, oh, you want me to watch your clips? Well, watch my clips, and pulls out, like, a mag on his gun and shit. And so the guy from Florida goes, I don't mean to be an asshole, but this is a fucking magazine. And, like, pulls his fucking Gucci'd out Glock out. And is like, this is a fucking And then he goes, same thing with this gun. And pulls out a fucking Gucci AR and goes, this is a magazine. They're not clips, you fucking idiot. And then he's like, no matter how much you talk shit to me and want to fight me, that's not going to make anybody unfuck your girl.
Oh.
And, like...
Oh, God.
I was like, that's the best point ever. Fighting doesn't mean that you won.
It doesn't.
You can kick the guy's ass. He still got under your skin to the point where you had nothing else but to be physical. Mm-hmm. And I think that's my favorite thing about, like... That's how you know you win an argument. It's not the end of the fight. It's the beginning of the fight. Did you piss him off, or did he piss you off? Who resorted to the only thing they had left?
Oh, man. I find it so simple for me personally to just walk away from things.
Yeah, because you're a bigger person.
I just don't find enjoyment in engaging in this shit. Nor does it bug me.
It also scares me because I don't know what people will do afterwards.
Well, that's another thing, is this motherfucker brought guns into this.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
Yeah, wholeheartedly not necessary. I told him, I was like, okay, just call the cops. And he was like, oh, no, you're going to have a fucking problem with me. And I was like, I don't want a fucking problem with you, dude. Just call the cops.
I'm sure you'll be doing something outside, like, fixing one of the cars up. He's like, "Hey, what the fuck is like?"
Dude, I've yelled shit over there a bunch of times, just being a smartass. I'm definitely on the aggressor end of this because now.
Okay. Well, now this is all.
Because this last week I've been out there like moving shit around and this and that, and I said, "Well, I really hope it's okay if I'm out here right now. Hope it's okay if I put this in my fire pit." I'm definitely like poking the bear at this point.
I wonder if that guy was just drunk and like,
dude, I was
he
like,
regrets everything he did.
Yeah, and like when he got down, I was still standing on my fucking porch, like, what the fuck just happened? Like, why was he so mad?
He must have had a really bad day.
He was so Where did you just move in because your girl cheated on you, or what happened? Why are you so upset?
You know, comes over and gives you a fruitcake. Don't eat the fruitcake. But like, what if he's like, "Hey man, I'm really sorry. I've been going through a lot lately. I didn't mean to act like that. I'm sorry. I embarrassed myself."
Dude, it was so extreme that I expected that. Like, that's how wild that was. I was like,
you know what's crazy? This whole podcast has been nothing about the point. This has just been one ADD trip after another.
I mean, it kind of has. That's who I want to be.
You know what? It kind of has been, because it is like... Yeah, that's a good point, because it's all about perception of, like, going through different situations and to, like, just be yourself through it.
Yeah.
And, like, the ability to walk away and be the bigger person.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely the end result there, I feel.
You know what? Yeah, no, we're pretty good at this.
Yeah. We're fucking pretty on track.
But yeah, because, like, to me... I don't know. Doing wrestling for 6 years, doing jiu-jitsu, doing kickboxing. I had a 2-week spurt with Muay Thai. Fuck Muay Thai. That is the hardest thing to do.
First of all,
and,
fuck that shit.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't want to fight anybody. Like, I'm good. I'd rather just bullshit. Like, don't get me wrong. If I'm hanging out with friends and something actually hurt, let me know so I don't make the joke again. I've changed a lot of my...
Right. And that's how I am, and that's
it's
been my biggest preach for a fucking long time. Like, hey, if there's an issue, can you just do me a favor?
Can we just talk?
Can you just tell me?
Be communicative, people.
Like, if you don't tell me, then I don't know that there's an issue. Hence, I'm going to keep doing it.
I feel really weird that I'm 27 years old and I talk like I have fucking...
Yeah. You're on the same level as me. I'm discovering the essence of adulthood finally, and you're catching up quickly.
I'm doing my bestest.
You're doing a lot better than I fucking did at 27.
To be fair, I was doing terrible at 19, so...
I don't remember 19. I was living in a garage at 19. Yes, I do remember that. Thank you, Dirty D, for the garage.
Dirty D's garage.
But, alright, I think since we have a waiting contestant that's probably on the edge of his seat, we'll cut this one a little short.
That's fine.
Do you have any plugs, anything you want to add?
Nah, just the same fucking third-party minority. That's about it.
Third-party minority. Wow.
Third-party minority.
Thank you. Not sure where my English just
the
went.
letter 3, everything else is third-party minority, pretty much specific.
On Insta.
That's all I got. I'm barely on social media.
One of the things I'm going to bring up, because I want to light a fire under your ass soon, hopefully, is I got Sheldon working on some new logos.
Cool.
And with those new logos, I need fucking merchandise.
I think I actually might have an answer for that.
Just so... Can I tell him?
Yeah.
He is going to be... Devlyn is going to be working on, hopefully, a line of merchandise for his company with a sponsored line for this podcast. Might be a little extreme, but I'm going to make this podcast like it's a fucking show.
I think I'll have space for... I have space for a desk in my room that I've figured out where to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably figure... I'll figure something out for that at that time.
So, actually, now with saying that, for my listeners, for one, as always, if you have somebody that you want to talk to, one of my co-guests or me, if you want to talk, email, chat, be on, feel free to email me at meversemeinfo@gmail.com, or reach out any of the comment sections. Like, follow, subscribe, anything.
Oh yeah, ask questions on there.
All of it. Yeah.
On Instagram or Snapchat. Give a question, and like that might be interesting to ask.
On YouTube, do your thing. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. You're going to help be the biggest part of the success of this podcast. And now, if you have any input as far as different logos go, Shoot me those. I would love to see some creativity.
Is it going to be a more basic logo so it's easier to do stuff with?
Yeah, I definitely don't expect that on a hat. I don't think that's appropriate.
Not with the setup I have.
It would need to be a quarter of the front of a hat.
Yeah. That'd be kind of interesting.
It would be, but the embroidery's not possible. So,
I could do hats and mugs and stuff.
I want hats for sure.
I can do hats. I actually have a thing for hats.
Is it still going to be the same name?
Yeah, it's just merchandise.
Your company?
Freearchy.
Keep your eyes and
I
ears.
shouldn't have said
and
that.
Keep your focals zoomed in. We're going to be introducing
Can you
Freearchy
Can you beep that out actually?
twice.
Yeah, because I haven't done the legal shit yet for that, so.
Allegedly. It's allegedly going to be Freearchy. We'll talk about it. It's not permanent yet. Yeah. I'll make sure that gets edited.
Alright.
Anyway, you guys are awesome. I love your input. Thank you for everything. We love you.
Thank you.